Hello Year 5, welcome to our final art lesson where we are going to be making our centerpieces to go into the middle of our abstract background. If you haven't designed your abstract background yet, don't worry, you can design your centerpiece first and then make your background afterwards. I recommend to make the centerpiece separately and then sticking it on top of your background. Okay, here is my background that I designed yesterday. I haven't really decided which way up it's going to go yet, but I do know that I've used the lines here to focus the attention on the rocket, which is going to go in the middle. So I'm very excited about that. And what is on the website for you today is some rocket templates. Now these are what you can use to explore and create the rocket to go into the center of your painting. Not your painting, your artwork, unless you painted it, in which case you're painting. Okay, so you can use one of these, you can practice different techniques like which lines you're going to use. You can use thick lines, thin lines. Are you going to decorate it with spirals to make it look like it's flying through space? How are you going to make that rocket amazingly pop off the page? And I will show you mine in just a little bit. Okay, so this is just the rocket part of one of Peter Thorpe's pictures. How has he made it so that that rocket appears to be flying in motion? How does it make it look like it's actually flying and not just frozen in space? Well, I think of a couple of things. First off, he's got a tail on the rocket, which is the fuel coming out, the fumes, the sparks. That's making me think that this rocket is going supersonic speed up through the atmosphere. He's also very deliberately chosen to use lots of lines. His lines are cutting their way through the rocket and they are parallel to each other. And because of that, it really makes me think that the rocket is moving in that direction. He's also designed a rocket that seems quite streamlined to me, which we know from our science makes it go faster through the air because there will be less air resistance on it until it gets to space, of course, where the forces are completely different to what they are on Earth. So how else could we make our rockets fly off the page? Have a think. We could use contrast, so we can contrast the colours that we use. Think back to our colour wheels. What contrasting colours do you know of that will really work well next to each other to make each one fizzle? We can use thick lines, like here he's got his thick lines around the outside to define his shape. We can have the use of light. If you look at this rocket here, we've got lighter up here and darker colours up down here. It is the same colour, it's like a yellowy, goldy colour, but it's deeper down here. It's a darker shade down here and it's lighter up there. Why do you think that is? What do you think Peter Thorpe is telling us by putting his colours like that? Is he talking about how brilliant space is, how it's like flying towards the light? Maybe. What way round will you have your rockets? We can use shading to help us. We can shade our rockets, we can put a shadow on it to say which way the light is hitting our rocket. And we can use lots of different colours and we can decide where we are going to place it. Now, before you decide what you're going to do, let me show you my rocket. My rocket is here. I hope you can see the colours. Now I've taken a template from one of them and I've popped it here. In fact, what I might do is I might pause, take a picture of it, and then put it on the slide like magic and unpause, and it will take you a second and me a little bit longer, but I will see you in a second. Okay, a little bit of movie making magic there. It should have popped up on your screen as well. Okay, so here is my rocket that I designed. I decided I wanted to use really bright colours so that it just flew out of the page. I'm going to stop using that metaphor soon, I promise. Okay, I decided I was going to do that with my fine liners, my gel pens, because I thought the colours were going to be really bright and vibrant on top of my abstract background, which, if you've seen it, and I showed it to you, so you have, it's got quite a lot of black around the outside to represent the universe and the sky up there. So I thought I'd do that. Now, if you can see here, I decided to draw or colour in my rocket ship by using long straight lines, all going in the same direction. I wonder if you worked out why I did that. Well, hopefully, when someone looks at it, they'll see these streaks of colour and they'll imagine that the rocket is zooming off up the page. Hopefully, anyway. Now, I have magpied a little bit of Peter Thorpe's work here by adding a tail. And I did that with a little bit of charcoal and a little bit of chalk and some red crayon as well, just to make it seem like there's flames and fumes shooting out of the rocket. And you might have noticed that the edges are quite blurred. Now that is where I've put a little bit of charcoal because I thought, you're flying so fast, just like in Cosmic when they were talking about re-entering the atmosphere. That level of speed is so great that the outside is going to get really, really, really hot because of the forces acting on it. So I thought if I could represent that by blurring the edge of my rocket, that would be really cool. And you've also seen, hopefully, and you don't think I'm just a bit rubbish at cutting, that I've left a bit of a white border here. Now that's just the white paper that I printed the rocket out onto. I've left that border around there because that will highlight it, like we were talking about using light to highlight your objects. So I thought I'd have the black, I'd have the blur, and then I'd have a highlight to really make it stick out. So now all I have to do is decide where I'm going to place it. Now this is a bit tricky because part of me wants to have my stripes going up so it looks like my rocket is rising. Part of me wants me to have my stripes pointing down so that they pull the viewer's eyes into it. And one part of me just wants to have it going sideways. Not really Blue Peter material, am I? There we go, sideways. So it looks like this is the direction of my rocket. So I'm really thinking about how I'm going to place it. And I'm not going to tell you what I decide, because I'm going to put it in our gallery, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. Now, one more thing I thought I might be able to do to make my rocket, my centerpiece, pop, is borrow an idea that we learnt about when we were looking at Picasso in term 1. I've got some cardboard here. I thought if I stuck my rocket to my cardboard and then I cut it out, then it would give it that 3D effect as well. But I'm going to have to be really careful with my cutting, because I don't want viewers to see the cardboard when they first look at the painting. I want that to be hidden, and I want it to be just the effect. So that's an idea that I might play around with. And now it's your turn. What medium are you going to use? Are you going to use gel pens like I did? Are you going to use colouring pencils so you can get lots of shading in? Are you going to use crayons or chalk or charcoal if you have it? Or are you going to use a mixture of all the different mediums that you have at home? Whatever it is you decide to do, I cannot wait to see your artwork. So you can have a go on the templates, and like me, you can use a template on your artwork, or have a challenge and see if you can design your own rocket to go on there. If you are designing your own rocket, think about using lots of shapes to help you. So maybe making a rocket made out of triangles, or maybe challenging yourself to make a spacecraft fully made out of circles, and you could use some of Mrs. Boy's circle art techniques to help you there. I'd love to see them. I cannot wait. And there's one more thing I need to tell you about, which is the Year 5 Space Art Gallery! Da, 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 da. On the website, we have made a perfect place for us to share the artwork that we make this week. Because normally in class, at the end of our art week, we'll have a big gallery. We'll show each other our artwork, we'll make comments, we'll give our favourite things, we'll do little mini reviews, and we will enjoy each other as artists. Now obviously we can't really do that at the moment, but what we can do is put them all on the website so that our parents, our friends, our classmates can all see our artwork. And then maybe we can even share some of our favourite ones in the newsletter next week. Who knows? But I cannot wait for this space art to come zooming in to my emails. So send them in an email to me or Mrs. Elmore or Mrs. Boyce, and we will put it onto the website to celebrate them. Okay? And I will put mine up there so you can see the finished product and see which way around I decided to place my rocket. Happy creating, guys. I cannot wait to see them. Have fun.